Welcome and hello to today's little magic formula for you to get even more in touch with your multidimensionality and your capacity to create a life that is just soul worthy. All right. In this particular offer that I'm giving you now, if you're receiving this, this is an intro to the concept of what would it be like to resolve conflict as a multidimensional being. So first I want to clarify in this context, multidimensional, what I mean is that we often think of ourselves as just a human, but the human has multiple layers, and even its most basic layers that any healer will learn is that we have a physical body, an emotional layer, a mental layer, and then other layers that we could call more spiritual. So we could go with the mind layer, but some people also refer to the astral, and on and on and on. What we're going to be talking today about, or in the next few days, as you digest all of the information that I'm going to give you in various videos and audios and visuals for you to integrate the content, there's kind of a protocol. And so I wanted to introduce a little bit of different key points within the protocol so that you really understand what we mean. So multidimensional in this case means really being owner of our physical, emotional, mental bodies and using higher levels of ourselves, so higher levels of our sphere of consciousness, so that our intention, our conscious self, the I am, connects with all of these different spots. And one of the places I wanted to talk to you about is the higher self. The higher self can be misunderstood if not studied or experimented with, experienced. So I provided you with a podcast that myself and Anouk Roussi had created a few years ago that talks about it. So feel free to listen to it. It's 45 minutes. You can put it on 1.25, 1.5, times 2 speed if you want. So it'll give you a little bit of food for thought with a tiny bit of a meditation at the beginning, very quick. But what I want to mention about the higher self, what it is really, it is an aspect of us that encompasses all. It is highly attuned to ourselves, but also our environment, and also bigger spheres of consciousness that are beyond what the human can hold right now. I like to see it like a player from above who can see what's coming, what's left, and not just for me, but also for others. The higher self includes others. Because you'll see in this methodology about how to resolve conflict as a multidimensional being, I'm not talking about how to really get a specific objective out of the resolution. It really is not just for me to win. It is for the higher self will take into account you and the other in all aspects of you, future you, past you, things that the soul wants to work through. So it's not just about you, it's about the other and the whole environment. So I just wanted to clarify that about the higher self. Also, there are aspects of my methodology that I'm offering here that could seem like we're gaslighting ourselves, mainly when I speak about gratitude. In a way to make sure that we're self-regulated, I offer tools to become more regulated ourselves. And one of the tools is gratitude. And I don't want you to gaslight yourself in being grateful for a situation that is hard, and to be grateful for the pain, just for the pain, in a masochistic way, in a wounded way. That's not what we're grateful for. We're grateful that the truth is being revealed through the conflict. There are many aspects that we do not always know about ourselves. We do not always know about the other, but we go into these mechanisms of behaviors that can sometimes be a bit automatic. We have these masks that we put on so that we're loved, or that we belong, or that we're safe. So what I'm speaking of the gratitude is that here we are in this conflict, in this tense situation where I can now learn so much because maybe we haven't said everything, because maybe we've been caught in a mask behavior and there's truth that we're underneath that we're not being honored. And the conflict is allowing us to see that. And that's what we're grateful for. I'm going to share with you an odd image. Some of you may know that I have studied many different healing techniques. And in my 4-year training at the Barbara Brennan School of Healing, I remember being struck with awe when we were, imagine we're 70 people, 70 students. Half is receiving the healing, half is experimenting, applying the teachings we just got. They were deep teachings about removing deep pains in the body, in the field. And so you have 35 people on a table receiving, and you have 35 people over the table moving energy within the field, which means moving pockets of consciousness, emotion, past trauma, memories, is being an active higher self, giving love and higher perspective to a situation that has been stuck. And so here we have the trainee healers moving energy. And here you have the people on the table are living these emotions that are being passed through, that are being relived, to be released. And so it's a pretty intense vibe in the room, right? Got people screaming, people crying, people who just are so scared. All of these aspects of the human that we usually don't feel comfortable with. And I look up and I see one of my teachers. She was the the one supervising the whole school. We happened to have her that day giving us that teaching. And she's walking around with this blissed face. And it struck me how much love she had in the midst of all of this pain. Where I, in the beginning of my training at that time, was feeling so sad for all of this pain that all of us have felt. And it's a legitimate reaction to feel sad. But I want to highlight that it's also a legitimate experience to feel the bliss from seeing pain being released, from unconsciousness to become conscious. And sometimes things that are unconscious carry pain. And in order to make it conscious, we need to see, perhaps even feel, to transmute and accept that pain. So I just wanted to clarify that the gratitude I'm speaking of is not a gaslighting and is not a protocol for you to stay small, to stay wounded, to stay in pain, or afflict pain upon the other. No. It's the gratitude that truth is coming out. It's the gratitude that perhaps after this experience, I might be even closer to the situation with which I have conflict right now. So I just wanted to make that clear for you guys, okay? No gaslighting of our own pain. That's very important. So here we are. Enjoy. You will see there's different pieces of content. Use it and digest it as it feels good for you. Some of it is a bit repetitive at times, but these are deep subjects. And so I'm hoping that the different offers, the different mediums of which you can receive that information will impact you. All right, enjoy. Be blessed. I have a lot of gratitude that you're spending this little moment discovering your multidimensional self and realizing that the other is also multidimensional. And together, we have a co-creative power that is changing the world right now.